Azard Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on winnfm 98.9.
Lord, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man mixari. This Labour.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participant or caller and do not reflect the views of winnfm 98.9. winnfm reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who in winnfm's considered opinion is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
Lord, this can end in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man mixari. This Labour bunch right to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economists all hard life crippling, we a collective menace, menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no India. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, bare unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. AAG, Nanicate lawyer, he really a pamba plain labor third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAD join the cult of the greedy. We just a menace to society. Government buildings, well then the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water walk with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country growing up is smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we with this menace to society. Government buildings, well then the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. On SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country growing up is smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we with this menace to society. Society, them are enemies of the state. Lord have mercy, under the weight of the lies, they need their honor.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join Azard Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on winnfm. Join Azard Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on winnfm 98.9.
I am your host, Azard Gumbs, Deputy Political Leader of the People's Action Movement, candidate for Constituency number 4, Attorney at Law, and host of the program Unfiltered. I am here with Troy Flanders and also Kyle Flanders. And so we are here again to speak to the issues facing St. Kitts and Nevis. In fact, since the Labour administration has taken office since 2022, St. Kitts and Nevis have been facing some very serious times. We have seen a rising cost of living. We have seen persons who have become elected members. They are elected members and they have created themselves somewhat of a godlike image and relationship with the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. In fact, they are often referred to as kings and queens, looking down on us, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and looking down on the persons that they are to serve. In fact, while things get harder here in St. Kitts and Nevis, while things get more difficult for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have seen these ministers of government travel excessively. We have seen them raise their salaries to a point that they are far above the average man and woman and far above the rising cost of living. So they have been buttressed for hard times ahead, while we have been forced to condition ourselves for the stormy road that face us. And so as we continue to speak on the issues, we continue to keep this administration's feet to the fire, because we are here for the people's best interests. We are members of the People's Action Movement, and as our party's motto, putting people first, a party first agenda, a people's first agenda, we are here to speak the people's business. So welcome Troy, welcome Kyle. It has been quite a busy day for me, I must say. I had a family engagement for the entire weekend, but I have to ensure that regardless of the things that I'm doing, that I have to ensure that I continue to speak on behalf of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. It has been a week. We have seen a number of things happening. Just last week, we had the Prime Minister. He gave an interview on Freedom FM, and I am of the view that Dr. Terence Drew is losing it, if he has not lost it already. He is speaking again on projects that have not been completed. He's speaking on matters relating to the People's Action Movement when his party has lost favorability when it comes to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis in just a short time. In less than 3 years, under his leadership, the Labour Party is facing an electorate that wish for them to be gone. An electorate that is dissatisfied by their performance. An electorate that has buyer's remorse. And he comes to national radio and he speaks about projects, Smart Hospital, Bastia High School. He speaks about the water issues. And of course, he says, sustainable island state. It is like he has a script before him every time he appears on radio or delivers any national address. In fact, persons have been saying that the Prime Minister's addresses are now predictable, uninspiring, and flat dead, not credible. And so fewer and fewer people are listening to his long speeches. What do you guys have to say in relation to the interview that the Prime Minister had just last week?
All right, good. Thanks for tuning in again this week. All right. When I feel as though there's some desperation in the air, because you realize that Drew was had his little pre-recorded video the other day. He had his monthly round table. Then he run out on Freedom. And then next week he's supposed to have a conference with press conference with all his members of parliament. So it seems as though he's desperate because he realized that the favorability is low. Again, maybe the polls trigger him, I don't know. But all of a sudden, he had the podcast, so he all over. But the sad thing is, it's the same thing over and over and over again, the same thing. You can remember Donald Trump, because the same kind of word, you hear tremendous, significant, the same kind of thing all the time, last 7 years. You could know what he's going to say in all his speeches. And it's getting very tiresome, very boring. Especially because of the fact that most of these speeches are shallow and they don't give you any ear of saying that our future is looking bright. You just mainly doom and gloom. Because it's the same thing over and over and over without ever saying that, we are moving forward, this is done, that is done, progress. I'm not seeing any progress from any of his speeches. And we're going to get into some of the topics that he mentioned in his speech, in his interview on freedom, kind of like maybe I was like Fox, but on freedom. And we're going to see what we can dissect. It's too easy.
Good night, Azard. Thanks for the invite.
No problem.
And, it's a sad sight when you look at Dr. Joe. I mean, I saw first a young guy, I thought he had a lot of promise. But when you look at how Dr. Joe just fade away, as a Kittian, it aches me heart to look at him. I feel sorry for the guy. But nevertheless, the time will come when we have to make a choice and retire Dr. Joe, make him a one-term Prime Minister, take him out his misery. Because you could see the guy is not in it. He's not in it, right? Joe exists in his mind, in La La Land. That's where Joe is right now. He's far, far away.
And sometimes you look at the Prime Minister, and there are persons who make the comments that when you're looking at him when he's making his presentation, as you say, he's in La La Land. Because it's as though he is staring blankly sometimes. Even in audiences, he look like he's staring blankly, wondering what his next move is going to be. I wonder whatever he probably is thinking, what next lie can we tell the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? How gullible these people can be that he continues to talk about the same things over and over as if we are foolish. So he talks about the smart hospital again. And we are saying that when it comes to the smart hospital, and he talked about climate change and saying that because of the climate change, we have to get a climate smart hospital. And people want a hospital that actually works. It's more than the infrastructure. It's the system, it's the individuals. Because you could have the best technology, but if you don't have persons who know how to work the technology, it is of no use. And so we are saying, Dr. Drew, that there is need for you to pay attention to healthcare. Not just scramble and say words, but actually pay attention to the healthcare system that we have. You are a medical doctor. Many persons have said that while you were a medical doctor practicing, you were good at it. Persons said that they enjoy you more as a medical doctor than the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. They enjoy you more within that profession.
That's his calling.
And that is your calling. But you have taken the opportunity to lead the country. You have taken the Ministry of Health because you're Prime Minister. You could assign yourself the Ministry of Health. And many persons thought that since you are a medical doctor, someone fresh out of the, practice, it wasn't as if you had been in politics for an extended time before you entered as Minister of Health. You would have been practicing as a medical doctor. And so many thought that this was going to be the saving grace that the country needed at this point in time to actually improve the healthcare system. But under Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and Minister of Health, we're in no better situation. In fact, people are saying that the situation has gotten worse. And so he talks about healthcare and smart hospital. He clears the ground over and over again. But when you pass the area, nothing has been laid. There's no foundation for any construction. But yet he comes on the radio, he comes on platforms and speaks as if the work has already been done. The infrastructure has already been put in place. And that tomorrow the hospital is going to open up and that he's going to have staff to fill the hospital and people to fill the hospital.
Here's my thing, right? This is why I am convinced that this party, this Prime Minister, is out of touch. They're lost with the people. Because I read an article just recently. PAO unit chief for non-communicable diseases stated that St. Kitts was in the top five in the Caribbean for obesity, diabetes, hypertension. So tell me how climate smart hospital going to deal with those issues that our people are facing. They say almost over a quarter of the population is obese. We're about to the obese per capita, we are high. So may want to hear about just the infrastructure. May want to hear just about climate smart hospital. I want innovation in policies. A time I went to St. Martin and I went to either McDonald's or Burger King and I ordered a soda and I asked for a large. Before you see the size of the large, here there would be a small because they have passed laws and regulations to say no, you cannot give our people this large amount of sweet drinks. We need to see laws in place, policies in place to help us with health. You said that agriculture is so important, one of the pillars of sustainability. Yet, there's no money being pumped into agriculture so that the diet of our country or people can be of such a level that it can help to ward off all of the NCDs. Now we're looking at treating the symptoms as opposed to the root cause of these problems. Agriculture is there. Feed the people with proper food. We're talking about policies. Go in there, craft something to show that we believe that a higher tax should be placed on sugary drinks. So that we believe that the ingredients in certain boxes can be imported to our country. Yeah, something we see, you look at some conflicts like Fruit Loops. You see the American one, bright, all kind of dyes in there. Look at the other one for Europe and Canada and those things. They're dull because they say, look here, don't put them things in our children's food. Right? So you're talking about the building, the infrastructure, climate smart. No, there are other things we need to be doing that are more innovative, can help us fight off. It's not good for things to be so high in NCDs. There's a problem. And you're focusing on the wrong things. The system is the problem. The policies are the problem. The lack of inter-ministerial working together is the problem. So we have bigger fish to fry than just climate smart hospital.
My problem with the proposed site, as you drive across there, you will see that there's a well right there on site. There's a pump house there where people get drinking water on the same land. That to me is a major problem. To propose building a hospital next to a well.
I think somewhere in his interview he said that it's going to take a longer time because now they have to go and do all kind of tests to make sure the site is proper, everything is proper. I guess that goes with, building a hospital. You have to test and see if it's actually viable now. So,
but before you make an announcement of this site that the hospital is going to be, won't you do the testing? Before you go and make a grand opening saying that the hospital is going to be built here, you clear the land and everything, you would have been wise.
Four
To clear the area, won't the reasonable man have thought that maybe we need to test the location before we go to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and tell them that we're going to clear the land here, clear the land, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times.
But
Drew is not a reasonable man.
Driving across there, you don't have to go look for the pump house. It's right there. As you drive across the road, you see it right there. So in your mind, you're going to tell me you see water there. You want to put a hospital next to drinking water? Next to the pump?
And
the people of St. Kitts, and especially in those areas, Buckley's and Martinley and those areas, who I think maybe the water probably going to them, maybe the village, I don't know where the water going. But these people should start to sound alarm. You don't want nothing seeping into your water. If you couldn't build a school up there, if Labour is about building a school up there, we're going to be almost a mile away from a pump house. How could you justify building a hospital right next to a pump house?
the thing about too. He said he talked about the hospital. Another thing he made mention of is the Nigeria. He said that, business between St. Kitts and Nigeria. And he talked about, having flights from St. Kitts to Nigeria. He talked about direct flights. And again, this Prime Minister, I really think that Dr. Joe is losing it. The reason why, he comes and speaks to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, but he doesn't speak. It's as though he is creating this fantasy reality. There is no actual talk about plans to get there. So he talks about direct flights, but he doesn't speak about the infrastructure that we need to improve the conditions of the airport that needs improvement. He doesn't talk about any of that, but he goes to the final product without telling us how we are going to get there. And then, if they're going to be trade, what are we trading? The minister in a press conference said that we're trading intellect. Dr. Drew, are we trading intellect with Nigeria? What are we trading with Nigeria? We realize the population size of Nigeria. Is there going to be some sort of balance between St. Kitts and Nigeria? How are we going to benefit? Because there to be trade between countries. There must be a benefit between the parties, between the countries. So Nigeria could benefit, I guess, because they have an extra space here and the products. But how is St. Kitts and Nevis going to benefit? Okay, we send over things, but what are we sending?
Is it? I mean, Nigeria population what? 200
So
million, 200 something million, 200 something million.
I guess the population size, if we get things over here, but what are we sending? He has not indicated at all, unless I'm mistaken.
No.
What we're trading.
This is the next episode of No Plan. You No Plan Samuel? Well, it's a No Plan Labour for real, because my problem with the Nigeria thing, straight up, is that they talk. There's nothing tangible to date. If you want to see tangible, I've said it before, go Barbados. See what the Prime Minister down there did when it comes down to Africa. A whole building coming down there, money pumping in the economy. That's tangible. My thing is that they're trying to appeal to this emotional thing about back to the motherland and reconnecting them back to the motherland. What are they doing for us as people? When we see tangible benefits for that. So stop trying to, pander to people who might be Afrocentric and that kind of thing, and do something that actually makes sense for the country as a whole. So don't try to talk about the emotional aspect of it, about slave trade and this and that. No, we really want to hear all of that. We know that. We read history. Thanks a lot. We read history already. But tell us, as I'd ask, what's going to be traded? What quantities? What is really going to happen? And they acting like this Africa connection is a new thing. Nigerians are here in saying this for a long time. Remember Windsor Medical School?
Yeah, maybe you need to speak louder for Dr. Drew to know about that.
A lot of Africans were here with the exchange.
They're still here. I went into Africans every
So
day.
you're going like, this is a new thing, like this is revolutionary. That's why he speaks these hyperbolic terms. Tremendous and significant and never before. Africans been
Mr.
here
Flanders,
before.
if you have nothing to show the people, you grasp at everything.
And so,
Because you have done nothing so far since you're in office for 3 years. So you grasp at everything. Every little thing become a big thing for you.
and Dr. Drew has become one of the, for me at least, maybe other persons may have a different view. This is my personal opinion. This is my view. Dr. Drew has become, his speeches they're not inspiring at all. They're long. They are filled with, like, he's repeating. It just, when people are saying, it's filled with fluff. It's all fluff, all fraud and nomabi.
I will bet
you understand?
I will bet you that.
Colorful words that bring you nowhere.
I will bet you that tonight's episode of Unfiltered will have more viewership than what Dr. Joe's speech had.
But I thought it was me one, Azard. I thought it was me one. Look here, when I hear somebody...
He send you around the round Mary Bush over and over and over again. But he tell me that you're sleeping.
But when I hear persons like Dr. Simmons talk, even his old age, you feel so inspired. When Simmons start talking, brothers and sisters, he appeal to a part of you that you just can't. You just like, okay, yeah, I hear you. I go with you. Like, like Simmons and Obama and them kind of speakers. But when you hear Drew talking, it just flat. And there's nothing to move you. It is just plain old. That's why nobody reporting really and the speeches and the interviews, kind of nothing there.
What they're gonna report, Kyle?
It is empty.
They just got to copy and paste from the last one.
Just change the date.
Just change the date to the same thing he's saying. What he said today, he said last year.
Same thing. Just
What he said today, he said last month.
But
Copy and paste it. This was the easiest time for news reporting. The easiest time.
I know tonight we're talking about Joe, but it's not Joe alone, you know. Because Joe is not glad to report something good with one his colleagues doing. It's the whole bunch of them, all of them is the same.
Someone on the Facebook said, don't compare Donald Trump with July. Trump keeps his promises and puts his people and America first. They say, it goes on to say this worthless, selfish guy puts himself first and don't care about the people or the country. Trump might repeat things all the time, but it's things he has done in the process or in the process of doing. Kyle, there's no comparison. Stop it.
I apologize to Trump.
It's true. You have to apologize to the President Trump. I mean, he says what he's going to do.
I don't want nobody to get the wrong idea out there. Okay, we're not here. People like this, when you talk the truth, you're bashing. But realize that we have offered solutions. We talk about Nigeria. We say, look here, medical tourism, educational tourism with Africa might be the way to go. It's already in place, expand that. This whole fluff about trade, we ain't taking on that. We say for the hospital, we want to see the systems change. We want you to focus on how to get NCDs down. We're looking for solutions. We're not just here talking. We want solutions also.
Yeah, persons. And the thing about it, sometimes you don't even want to report some of the things that are happening in the hospital. One young lady at one point in time sent me a video with rats running around, rodents running around. Not everything I had to put on social media.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, this is just completely embarrassing. And you wonder what is happening in the Ministry of Health, at our hospital, with a Prime Minister who's a medical doctor.
To be honest, apart from it being embarrassing, we don't want to put JNF in a certain light. Because at the end of the day, for some of us, that's all we have. So we don't want to build nobody no fear into anybody. We want people to be comfortable in the medical system here because that's all we have. Mm-hmm. But if we keep messing up and doing these kind of things, that's what's going to happen. Because if I get sick, we're going. We're not rich, we can't go fly out. At JNF, we're going to go. So we saying it just because we want to better the healthcare in St. Kitts. We want to be better, the best it can be. So you're right not to put it on there because it may make somebody think twice before going up there and not have the confidence. You're up there very frightened. We don't want that. And the thing is, we don't want to offend anybody either. A lot of doctors ain't their fault. It's the system that they are forced to work within. A lot of the nurses is not their fault. It's the system they are forced to work in. So you have to get the system better or else you're going to build a new hospital and we're going to transplant the same system into the new one and we're going to have problems still. So understand that we know JNF, we need to have faith in our medical institutions. We need to have it as a country because where else we going? So come better than that, man. Bolster the thing, build it up.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that he touched upon is, we have a call? Okay. So this is some George Nolan that's on the YouTube, and he says to me that I sound like a fool. A project of that size just don't happen overnight. You all took years and no school.
You should tell Dr. Joe that. You should direct that to Dr. Joe.
I am reading this comment and wondering if he's mixed me up with Dr. Joe.
Dr. Joe, you should be telling that.
That's the point we're trying to make.
That's the point we're trying to make all night. So whoever is George Nolan on the YouTube, you have messaged wrong person.
And I tell people sound like a fool.
He's saying that these things don't happen overnight.
So
this is what we're saying.
He actually said that Jew sound like a fool when he's talking.
Yeah, because Jew speaks as if these projects are done.
Right.
For 3 years now, he's talking about a smart hospital.
So, Mr. Nolan, thank you for getting it to Dr. Jew.
For 3 years now, he's talking about the Bastille High School. I was tempted to walk up there and take a picture to see if any foundation had been laid. Because after he made an announcement
that the school starts?
That the school doesn't start, I wanted to make sure. I didn't have the chance.
But we contractor be able to school.
Do we know?
No. Ask Mr. Nolan, he might know.
But you see, one of my biggest problems with this government, right? There are many, but one of the biggest one is that they are out just to score political points. They don't sit and think and consider anything. And not I say remember Donald Trump, but for another.
We have a caller. Caller, you're live and unfiltered.
Yeah, good evening to you gentlemen. How you guys doing tonight, man?
We're good. How are you doing, Burl?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. It's a lot of stuff going on in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis from my observation from the outside. And honestly, man, it pains me to see how we are in that two little small island state. We're not filling up each other. We're tearing down each other. The country is not progressing and advancing fast enough and sustainable enough. Let me use the word that they like to use. I left Nevis since 1985, and we are still talking about water rationing, electricity rationing, and the complaints is going back and forth no matter who government goes in. When a prime minister takes the lead of a country or a leader of a country anywhere in this world, their priority is to unite the people and to lift up the quality of life of the people. They started a program called the CBI program, which persons didn't even like in the first place. 41 years this year. The amount of money came into Bastille is hot head. People underground, educated people with so much degrees, more than a thermometer, who went away to school and came back to the Federation and who have all that financial experience, don't even have any idea how much money was raked into Bastille because lack of transparency. What does it hurt these leaders or these politicians to bring the transparency to the average Joe and understand and learn and get educated financially and to know where is that money gone? You know, the amount of money came into Bastille, St. Kitts and Nevis, both should be in tip-top shape. Trust me on that, Azard, and your guest.
Yes, yes.
St. Kitts and Nevis should be in tip-top shape, no doubt about it. We shouldn't be scrunting here like we don't got no money, and our priorities is mixed up. We don't seem like we want to get self-sufficient in food. We're not really independent if we can't feed our own mouths. And we are not investing in agriculture. 300 cars came into the port in St. Kitts. There was those two guys, the Flanders brothers. Can you guys tell me if there was even a push lawnmower that was on top of that boat? Not even one tractor was on there mixed into those 300 cars. We are talking about advancement and sustainability. And it's like the politicians are tricking the people. You know, they got us some type of way with our hands out. The transactional politics, since I left Nevis in 1985, the politics has changed. It was no transactional politics back then like how it is right now. People are buying votes, paying for votes, and, you know, got people running around here, running around there. I'm going to get some galvanized, I'm going to get some money to put in my pocket. Am I going to get a fridge or a stove or a cow or a piece of land? All this stuff got the whole place messed up. The place need a turnaround. Certain people made a S-load of money from that CBI program. The money did not trickle down to the common working person. The money didn't. The money stayed up with the upper class, the elitist people. The money stayed in only certain person's hands. If that money had trickled down, St. Kitts and Nevis would have been in a better place. In investment-wise, that Christoph Harbour that you see that they was talking about, we see the program that this government started called the Aspire program for the kids, Azard and your two guests. We had gotten a golden opportunity for those kids in terms of investment. And instead of us managing our own projects and our own industries, they take the harbor the port, the marina. They took the marina and sold it out. And then now they start bickering amongst themselves. Whoever started that Christoph Harbour company and took all of the people's money from the bank and from the SIDF fund and pumped it into that company, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis should own that company right now. Much less for them to lose the marina. And going forward, the marina is going to, anyhow they develop that marina, is an S-load of money they're going to make. The harbor, the sea part, they're saying that in one of those deals, the new company, Safe Harbors, they're going to own 12 miles out from the seashore, out to sea. That peninsula and St. Kitts, we see how the peninsula is going. They need to turn around that peninsula and reserve those land for the people. And on the south side of Nevis, they're trying to do the same thing what has been happening on the peninsula. These areas of both islands, a prime real estate, is the best real estate almost in the country. We are taking our land and giving it away. We got to stop this stuff. Maybe I think it's too small for that.
Carlo.
Yeah.
Do you remember who was the major shareholder in Scantel?
No. Let me tell you, when I left Nevis in 1985, I was MIA from the political scene in St. Kitts and Nevis until when I got reconnected in 2013. I got reconnected in 2013. So one of the reasons why I keep listening is to get that information. And as you're talking about what you're about to ask me, you can say what you're saying. That way I can get that information and get that knowledge.
The simple thing
is
that
it was a part of my life.
the
It
simple
was a part of my life that I was missing, and I still need to get some of that information.
the simple thing is that Labour does not think that way. That you speak. Labour is the problem. They does not think that way. They don't believe in investing in their own people. You had the cable
And that's not
company.
good.
You had the cable company at Scantel. They were owned by the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something, right?
You imagine Scantel was cable and wireless, right?
Yeah.
So it was an English company, I think, that come to St. Kitts, and it becomes Scantel, and you know, the government of the day was thinking about its people. That's why the government had the majority share also in the cable company, the government of the day.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Burl,
I
we have
understand you.
more.
And then that majority share is now gone, right? Is that what you're trying to indicate finally?
Okay, so we have another caller. Burl, want to say thank you for your contribution.
I'll keep it here for now and I'll come back in later.
Yes. We still have those callers? Okay, so we lost those callers. Callers, if you want to call in, you call in on the program. It's, I think, the last numbers are always 0989. It's 466-0989. US line 718-285-6984. Okay? So, yes. So, we want to thank Burl for what he has said and the contribution he has made. I'm sure you wanted to say something?
Okay, it was
Okay.
Well, let me just say based on what Burl mentioned. So Burl mentions two things, right, that I want to piggyback off of. The Aspire and the water thing. I just want to read a quote, right? And just guess who this quote came from. Just guess. A government that cannot deliver water for its people is a useless government.
Okay, so I'm thinking that's either Dr. Drew or Congress Maynard.
Terrence Drew, July 7th, 2025.
Okay.
After the call, we continue.
Yeah, so let's go with the caller. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, Brother Azard,
Good evening, brother. Welcome.
and all the colleagues that are there, and to all the listeners around the world.
Yes.
Azard, I just
But you have something in your back, you making noise in your background?
no, I am definitely clear.
Oh.
Anything?
Speak. Sorry.
Yeah, as I heard Mr. Jones commented I'm going to put my injection into the whole mix. The Christoph Harbour, all the investment that seems to be shifty that ever been in St. Kitts. Like I said, I will be the one to rip up deals because they are shady and they are payback, kickback, and government should not be involved in conflict of interest. I don't care what. But I want to tear up the Christoph Harbour deal, cancel it out. I don't know how, I don't care how it is right now. The deal started off bad, and it shall be null and void. Anyhow, the people elect me, even just to be a minister. I'm gonna ruffle feathers with all the others to get that deal be null and void. And I'm gonna chase all these thieves out of St. Kitts. That is the power hand that I'm gonna put down on people who try to steal our land and those who sold our land wrongfully. So to whom it may concern, Winston Welcome is coming, and I am no joke. I will be the force to reckon with. Azard, I'm just putting it out there.
Yes.
I'm not going to hide my hard fist. All government ministers who try to do us harm, there will be a death reckoning. Thank you for hearing me. I know time is of the essence. Bye for now.
Thank you. Kyle?
Yeah, so that's the quote from...
So the quote again so persons know.
In the last interview he had on issues, he said, a government that cannot deliver water for its people is a useless government. And we know all of us having some issues, some leaks with water right now. So are we saying for the time being Labour is useless? Is that what you're saying?
They have been useless.
Okay. That's from the horse's mouth.
Since on the Dr. Drew, they have been completely useless.
For sure. And then the Aspire thing. Now, I teach POB, I teach MOB, those kind of subjects. So these things kind of dear to my heart. So I have some questions about this Aspire that they keep boasting about. I have some questions. Now, sustainability is one of the big buzzwords for the Labour government. Question 1, how sustainable is the Aspire program? Because you're saying every child from 5 to 18, between 5 and 18 can sign up. So you're saying if my child turns 5 tomorrow, they can sign up for Aspire? And if your child turns 5, they're going to sign up, and his child turns 5, they're going to sign up. So how far this going? So how many children are going to sign up for Aspire? Because you have to ask a question. Shares are not infinite. A company with shares are not infinite. So you keep doing what? Investing, taking shares from off the money market and giving it to these youngins. What happens to those who are actually investing for the future? Are we going to dilute the strength and value of these shares in this company? And next question, what are these companies? Who are we investing in? Because as far as I'm concerned, about 5 companies in St. Kitts are on the public stock exchange. You have like National, TDC, those kind of companies are on the public stock exchange. So who are we going to invest in? Because I don't think any company would want to see their stocks being diluted like that. And next question is, I mean, apart from all of that, the sustainability and those kind of things, like I said, we're here for solutions. What I want to say is, we have cooperatives out there. And in the school, because they said that they're going to have a curriculum in September. So I want to know, who's going to teach a curriculum? How is it going to be shoehorned into what's happening right now in school? What is the real plan? How is that supposed to work out? Who are the ones going to teach this curriculum out there? Because rightfully so, there are not many persons who are versed in those kind of things. So who's going to teach curriculum? And which part is going to be slotted in? My thing is this. Cooperatives, their strength come from membership. So you want to teach children about savings, there's always a school saving program out there. We know that. Everybody know. You bring the school your money when Monday or whenever it was, you bank in the school. Bolster that. Big up that deal. Make sure that deal is up and strong so you can show children how to save and those kind of things. You don't have to go to whatever Aspire you're supposed to be. You have to reinvent the wheel. There's a mechanism already there. You have your different credit unions out there. You have SKCC, you have First Federal and those things. You pump money into those things. They can help adults now. Because if you're stronger now as a union, credit union, you can now lend more money to your members at a lower rate. Because the government injecting funds into those cooperatives. So you have to think about a broader picture and not just these political points. You're annoying me, this political points thing. It's like, I just want it because it sound good. The same thing with the basketball. Let me everyone go. Because they need it for 7 days, let me everyone go.
If I've called her. Caller, you live?
Yes, Azard, let me get 2 more minutes, one more conversation, one more call there, quick before you get off. On the Nevis side, I want to heal up the man named Banky, a successful farmer who has now thrown his hat in the ring for candidacy for the next coming election. And he has been a successful farmer down at the Indian Castle Reservation. And since he was on that project and had many great success there, it's now a thing where he moved away from that project, and now that project has fallen down like an old drunken man. He is calling for the removal of the agriculture minister in Nevis. Total failure. And, we're just going to watch and see and wait for the next election. It's very simple and very easy to remove this Labour government by taking away 1 seat only from them. For all 3 of you guys on the program tonight and everyone that's hearing my voice tonight, the electorate just got to take away 1 seat from the Labour government and they lose control of the government. In the first instance, Azard, take note of this.
Yes.
In the second instance, you take away 4 seats from them and leave them with 2 seats. You tell me, Azard, if you, Nubian, and your colleagues and the PLP, NRP can't do that in the St. Stephen's Federation. And everyone step up to give Timothy a chance and Pam a chance to take out that Labour government. It's very easy to take them out. You remove 1 seat from them, leave them with 5 seats in the first instance, and they lose control of the government. Second instance, you take away 4 seats from them, with them left with 2 seats, they will have a difficult time forming a coalition with anybody. And that's all I want to say for the night, man. You guys have a good night, and big up to Nubian. And Azad, for yourself directly, please, you stay close to Nubian, bro. Everywhere you go, you should have Nubian by your side. You two, as being 2 new, young, aspiring persons, you are going to get a lot of attacks. But I'm going to tell you, man, you stay strong, and you encourage Nubian to stay strong, and both of you all should be moving like Siamese twins. You go help Nubian out, and Nubian come help you out, and trust me, y'all should get some results. Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good night.
Thank you, Burl. Thank you so much.
But Carlo, I was at that you're being a little generous with Labour based on Labour performance, not a damn seat for them. I don't think they deserve any.
So we're going to take all the seats from the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, a party that continue to fail the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
As you look at how Labour is treating constituency number 6. Constituency number 6 has voted for nobody but Labour. Well, look at how they're treating number 6.
We have another caller. Caller, you're live and Unfiltered.
Yeah. Nubian, this is welcome again. Let me just say something to
Nubian, isn't it this evening?
Burl, sorry. Let me just say something to Burl. Burl, I already told you. You cannot be lenient with the Labour government. They shall not get no damn seat. We need them to be gone. Because none of the ministers, if they were to help Dr. Drew, why didn't they put their injection in it to help him from failing? So if they allow him to fail, we should have empathy and sympathy for them. Let all of them go. Okay? I need all of them to be gone. That is the quest. And new leaders come in the mix. And I hope the new leaders don't fail neither. Because I am not going to fail. Because I'm going to keep everyone in check. No matter where I am, I'm going to keep everyone in check because the administration that's formed.
Yes. Welcome. We have another caller.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let it come in.
Yes.
No problem.
Go ahead, caller. Caller? Call. Okay. Caller, you're live? Okay. Caller, we want you to call back if you have the opportunity. We are speaking here with us on Unfiltered. We have another caller. Caller, you're live on the line. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Could you please assist me? Could you please tell the people of St. Kitts and Nevis exactly what your party would do for the country of St. Kitts and Nevis? Forget about getting rid of this party and getting rid of that seat. Could you tell the people exactly what you would do differently that this party is not doing now?
Caller, could tell you could stay on the line if you have time and the credit. One thing I could. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk. He's not interested in listening.
Every time someone asks that question, first and foremost that comes to my mind is the fact that we will be an administration that cares. We'll be an administration that listens to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll be an administration that consults with the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll be an administration that put the right people in the right places to ensure that we have further development of St. Kitts and Nevis. Just over the weekend, we have had discussions as to how we could improve the agricultural sector, how we could put imports down. These are discussions that we have. We are a party in opposition now. The election is to come. But our plan at this point in time is to come up with feasible plans and ideas to serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We do not go week after week just twiddling our thumbs. We meet, we talk about the issues. I could say in constituency number 4, if I am elected to serve, when I am elected to serve, infrastructure must be on the table for constituency number 4. Roads must be given to the people of constituency number 4 in Half a Tree, in New Guinea, in Conyers, in Lamberts, in parts of Challengers. Roads must be given to the people of constituency number 4. I live in a constituency, and many times when I'm doing my house-to-house and meeting and greeting with the people of constituency number 4, they say to me, Azard, all we want you to do when you get elected is to fix the roads. Many of them have difficulty accessing roads or accessing their homes via roads. We look at Conyers development, and Conyers is something that's dear to me because when you look at how persons have to use a very terrible, poorly conditioned dirt track to get up to their house. Imagine the dirt that is on the houses, because when you drive across, it's just dirt lifting, wind blowing and dirt just lifting and hitting those houses. New Guinea, same situation. Did a house to house with persons in New Guinea, and then you traversing the roads, and the roads are terrible. Talking about looking at Half a Tree. Just the other day I had a conversation with a gentleman dissatisfied with the performance of Labour. I think he might have voted for Labour. But when he looked at the performance of the minister, the lack of performance of this administration, I mean, I don't think we could do any worse than this administration. Another thing that I would focus on if elected or when elected is the housing. You got a lot of young people in the constituency, man. They want an opportunity to have affordable housing, an opportunity to thrive, to live in something that is theirs. A lot of persons don't want to be renting. A lot of persons don't want to be living home with their parents. A lot of persons want to own something for themselves at an affordable cost. So we, as an administration, will look at housing. We talk here about healthcare. And just during the last administration in which Pam was a part of, we talk about a universal healthcare plan.
Pam been talking about that.
Pam has been talking about that for some time. And the studies and work had been done while Pam was in government on the Team Unity.
Just ready implement.
To implement it. When we look at tourism, just how tourism was over the last few years under People's Action Movement Minister, my predecessor, Mr. Lindsey Grant, over 1 million tourist passengers in a year. We haven't done that since him. Tourism was better now than it was before. Tourism was better then than it is now. You talk to the taxi drivers, and I encourage you to talk to them. I often, every time I'm on the road and I see people, I talk to them and I ask them how things are going. You understand?
Azard, one thing you got to instill in people is hope. Right? Hope.
Another thing, Charlie, is that we have an administration that don't care about the people, you know. One thing the People's Action Movement wants to do when we get back into office is food security. We want to ensure that the import bill is down. Just over the weekend we had the discussion, had a meeting. It was Kyle, Troy, myself, the chairman, and some other people. I said we got a meeting even on Friday evening to talk about how we could help the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Because sooner or later we have to give out our plan, the manifesto. And we ain't planning on doing like Labour, you know. Tell people what they like to hear just by the sake of doing it, with no aspiration of actually doing anything. And so, Carla, when we talk about this administration, we are calling and we're talking about an administration that don't do anything for the people. And a lot of people, they because of their positions, they can't speak for themselves. So we are going to speak for them. I am going to speak for the people, those who cannot speak for themselves. Because better days must come. Today, praying for change, where we have leaders that care more about the people than themselves. Praying that people, when they are elected into office, they're not just called honorable, but they do honorable things. These ministers of government now, this Labour administration, they have made themselves kings and queens of our land.
Azard, as you're talking about caring for people, look at George Street, just cross here, right? For months and months, this dot in a people's face, the deputy prime minister is the area representative. And day in and day out, people got to breathe all those dust. People with asthma and all them there. I could imagine how much people may feel ill. And you could tell me that we can't do better than that?
Anything worse than Labour is murder.
You understand? You look at George Street from since May. George Street in a dust. We almost at the end of July. And George Street is still in that terrible condition.
The Labour administration.
Their business is suffering daily because of the dust. You could imagine you go buy total for breakfast and you go pull in the door because dust are flying. They don't care. You could tell me Jeffrey care about those people?
Jeffrey don't even reside in the constituency where he resides in the constituency, just a different area of the constituency.
Here's what
not the area that would be affected by things that of his own actions. Like the George Street, as you said, try dust there. Sure, there must be children around, families around.
You speak about George Street last week, they put a bulldozer back there. And they pull it back out.
Glenda Nisbet, who's on the Facebook profile. I know you're listening to our program because you're commenting. Lord Mercy, go talk to Jeffrey now. Go talk to Jeffrey. Tell Jeffrey fix the road there by George Street. He dig it up. And it's might as well he had left it. Because in a worse condition now than it was before.
But Jeffrey cannot get nothing done as the Deputy Prime Minister. Why should people elect him again? He can't get nothing done.
I hear the Prime Minister talking about, Jeffrey Henley needs to go and take pictures and, when he comes to these houses.
Wow,
because if he don't take pictures, then people won't know that what the work he's doing.
The man shame. Is this what we're talking about?
Yes.
A photo up?
Yes.
The reason why there's no photo up with how because of shame.
We have a caller. Caller, you're live and unfiltered.
Azard, quickly for the grand finale. I was listening to another program right before you, and a gentleman said that we're in a better space with our healthcare system right now. But as you mentioned, something about the healthcare system as well.
Is that the Prime Minister as advisor saying that we're better in healthcare now? Is that program hosted by the Prime Minister advisors who said that St. Kitts and Nevis, our people, have a mindset of entitlement? Is that same host that you're talking about? Are you referring to him?
Come on, man! You got a site. You got a what do you call them? Duplicate twin out there somewhere. A clone. You got a clone out there somewhere, man.
If you're talking about the man who said to us on his program that we have a mindset of entitlement just because we asked Labour to fulfill the promises.
But the thing about it, right? We are better. If he thinks that we are better healthcare wise, what became of the national healthcare scheme? Where has they gone with that, man? And lastly, as 5 seconds, just to put in a plug. The gentleman, Winston Welcome, I think he might have forgot. He supposedly is going to be on a program Friday, an agriculture program with Banky. So we want everyone to tune in. I think he's going to be on 7 to 9 or something like that Friday. So I think he might have forgot to mention that, but I just put in a plug for him. Winston Welcome should be on another program coming up Friday with Banky, the agricultural program, on Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. And like I say again, where is that national healthcare system? Thanks a lot, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, Burl. There's a comment on the YouTube, and it says, politicians have a lot of chat when out of government. You guys will do the same if you ever get in. Funny, the recent polls did not mention your party. Why? Okay, so let me address this.
Don't take a bit.
No, because we have politicians have a lot of chat when out of government. You guys will do the same if you ever get in. So when I hear people talking that rhetoric, I just be like, so you are satisfied with persons who do nothing now out of fear that persons who come in the future might do the same thing? So you just accept what Labour is doing now, which is absolutely nothing. In fact, they have been doing worse than nothing because what they're doing is hurting the people. They have taken us to a stage worse than we were before, a path worse than we were before. So in fact, they're doing worse.
Here's what I want to chime in on. Those two, that statement and what the caller said, because it seems as though some persons, they listen to the show just to rebut. They don't listen to actually understand what we're talking about. So maybe we fail on that part. So maybe we need to explain it a little clearer. Every time we state something, we give solutions. So we're not out there just talking. We're giving solutions. So he's saying, what is Pam going to do differently? We have already given you solutions. I hate when people say all politicians are the same. Because an ungodly man, a dishonest man, if he goes into office, it's going to be 10 times more dishonest. So everybody's not the same. And so you could see it in the thinking. Because these people, they don't understand history. Because look at how Pam's thinking was for the first administration with Simmons. And look at what Unity thinking was when Pam was a part of it. Different. Think big. Labour right now thinking small. And you're talking about healthcare. Just an anecdotal thing. Somebody told me that they went up there on the bed, the asthma bed, and they had to pay. Like what? Since when? Normally you got a little asthma attack, you go up and you get the thing, the nebulizer, and you just move on. And they say they have to pay. Just that's a little thing to show you that we're not better off. We are not better off than we were before. Right? So persons need to understand that everybody's not the same. Like you said, over Friday we were thinking about ways to improve agriculture. There's a difference in thinking between those who are in now and persons in Pam Party. a whole different way of thinking. Because if I was thinking about food security, I would have never bring Tabasco here. That is not food security. If I was thinking about those kind of things, you could see there's a different in the thought. Look at this, for example. When Unity was in power, and they wanted to give out they had tablets to give out to children. What they did, they made sure install internet in every home of students who had none. What Labour did before that, laptop everybody get. No care they have the infrastructure or not. No care if you have internet in the house or not. So people window catch internet. There's a difference in thinking. There's a difference in thinking. So you could talk about when you get into the same. We are not the same. We are not the same. You know that thing was built on the back of Pam and the ideas, the grand ideas, highway to nowhere, road to nowhere, those Port Zante, those are different, grander scheme of thinking. The both parties have different philosophies. That's why they are founded on different philosophies. In my view, Labour's philosophy keep them poor so they could keep coming back. Because I remember persons in my constituency, when they get a house, they get a whole empty shell. You want tiles? You got to vote for me next election. You want a cupboard? You got to vote for me next election. Whereas Pam would empower. That's why the economy is so stagnant, because they're not empowering anybody to help the economy.
But here what Dr. Drew is saying, Jeffrey need to go and take pictures with the houses, because people are not going to believe that so many houses are being built and whatever. And he says, no, I think Jeffrey has built over like almost 200 homes. I said to myself,
He think.
200 homes, right?
La la land.
But try. Jeffrey promised the people of St. Kitts and Nevis 600 homes per
beating
year.
this. They're not beating West Coast.
You
They
understand?
will never beat West Coast allegation.
They
They're not beating it.
Azard.
I said to myself, it got to be that Dr. Drew is losing it. It got to be that Dr. Drew is losing it, or he has lost it.
They love a photo up. They love photo up. So you know if they ain't come because they shame. They don't get the housing thing.
I will like Dr. Drew and the other ministers to show me 50 completed houses. But we in July, at the end of July, right? This year make 30 years since Pam last office, right? 30 years. And when you think about it, as Mr. Flanders rightly said, about the way the party was thinking.
Last office, you mean having,
95.
95, Pam as
the sole leader.
as a PAM administration.
Okay.
I figured I know what Troy meant, but I wanted
So
to clarify.
I'm telling you, right?
Because
what we lost, right, with PAM losing office, one, the Small Business Association, we lost that, right? We lost youth skill, right? These are things that we lost. We lost the sporting drive that was there, that breed about the Keith Kayamba Gumbs and their T-Bo Harris and them. We lost that. You understand?
Juvenile system.
You could recall that we were the party that sent people after Olympic Mission Atlanta, right? All of these things, by losing office, the nation in itself lose these things now, because the mindset of PAM was to take its people out of poverty, and sports was one the avenue. You could ask Kayamba Gumbs and them.
talking about sports, Troy, we have a minister of sports, and the sporting facilities across the nation, terrible
That wasn't a
condition.
wrap up.
Again, different
Terrible
thinking.
condition. So they're making a song and dance over the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium.
Photo up.
Photo up.
And if you go up there right now, we fence are drop down.
He-
Then we open, so then we renovate and what. You go up there, the fence portion, they fence up, they drop it down.
So again, for those who say that
If you don't, who may think that I'm telling, like, go up there tomorrow and their portion of the Kim Collins facility with the fence falling down.
The minister might make a call now and tell you to fix the fence tonight.
So, again, for those who think we are the same, look at our approach to sport. Look at the different human beings. Dr. Kennedy Simmons, right? Love sports, avid sports fan, love cricket, love football. Guess what part of the 1974 winning netball team? He was right there, part of the selectors and everything. The man loves sports, so therefore if you go into office, of course you understand the power of sports, and of course you're going to invest in infrastructure for sports. What's Samuel? Samuel like football? Samuel like in sports? What's Samuel? What's the difference in thinking? That's why you're treating sports so terribly, because they're acting like they reopen the stadium, right? Like it's a big thing. When You can't even invite the 2024 inter-school champion. Why? We not had none. We not had none. Even under when Sean was in Unity, Sean and a club from Barcia went to Curacao to compete, to give the children a taste of international competition at a certain level. That is different mindset. Pam and Labour, nobody see him. Pam think totally bigger, better than Labour. Labour don't celebrate the smallest thing. You see, at time someone went all over celebrate a new part for ice machine. Big thing. They went to go launch a fake lab. Lab since 2024. They got big. They just celebrate the smallest, minute thing like it's a big accomplishment. Even you see Joe talk and the interview. Joe happy with these small thing. I put on a road. Okay, Joe. Road are the basics. You're supposed to put on the basic infrastructure. Tell me you do something as big as changing Old Road landscape. Tell me you change Old Road face. Tell me you report Zantea, extended pier. Tell me you dig a toilet to somewhere else that could help us. Think big. This small mindset thinking that Labour has, keeping people down.
And then Dr. Drew goes on to talk about in his interview about, the political parties, the People's Action Movement. I mean, Dr. Drew, since he has become the leader of Labour, he's running a very divided party. Based on his own leadership race, there are certain divisions in the Labour Party that are still there. Under his leadership, these fractions have not been mended. So Dr. Drew is a prime minister, a leader of a party in the minority. He got the minority. He doesn't control the majority support of the Labour Party when it comes to the actual members of the party based on the last election that he had in 2022. In fact, more persons voted against him for leadership or as the leader than for him. And so since his take as the leader of Labour, Labour has become even weaker than it has ever been in any time. In fact, I had a conversation just this afternoon where persons are saying this is probably the weakest Labour has been in performance, in the way in which persons gravitate towards them. I had a conversation with some young people. They want nothing to do with Labour.
They're not offering anything.
Azard, I joined across constituency number 6. And Saddlers. You go up to the playing facility. You can't play netball, you can't play basketball. The lawn tennis thing is covered with grass. You go down to passing ground. No backboard, no hoop, nothing down there. Saddlers, passing ground, deep bay.
Who is the Minister of Sports?
I don't want to call the guy name.
You mean the man with no plan?
The failed sporting minister, right? But the area representative has been representing the area there for 30 plus years. 30 plus years. He was a prime minister, a minister of finance. He's a senior minister. He's a minister of foreign affairs. He cannot bring back nothing to this nation, not to his constituency. The people of Constituency 6 has been left out, forgotten about by this Labour administration. Completely forgot about.
You remember when in 6 we had a whole football league?
Saddlers used to have a league.
Whole football. Remember when
people travel from all over, come Saddlers at Sunday time.
Yeah, the whole league, man, in the village. Remember when you had netball mecca? Nobody could have banged them girls in netball at all. Back in the day. You said dominating sports.
Labour has crippled sports in St. Kitts. Crippled sports in the rural area. I look at a playing facility there in Tabernacle that was put by the People's Action Movement. Terrible condition. And then they worrying about the young people. Who cares about the young people when you're going to treat them like that? They does not care. You travel on to Newton Ground, it's the same problem. In a constituency number 6, the backbone of Labour. If Labour could treat number 6, so how they going to treat the West constituencies?
That is so true.
And the food belt. 6 is the food belt.
But don't say want to go there because the feeder road that was built by Pam for the farmers From Harris's come right round to Sadler's down to Newton Ground. From the roads were built in the 80s, no repair has done to those feeder roads. And if you take from the 30 years that Pamela's office, how much of the years Labour was in office? Out of the 30? Completely neglecting the feeder roads and the farming community. And you expect people supposed to do, as those callers say, lift them up for what? You tell me that Denzel Douglas, who was kicked out of Parliament because he violated the laws of Parliament, he chose a nation over his constituency, you know. That's why he had to leave Parliament, you know. In violation. But because the people of number 6 voted Labour all the time, 80%, 90% of the votes they get, they're completely neglecting the people of number 6.
Speaking about number 6, these are the things that really just baffle my mind about Labour and how they choose to express the political views. Now, in his interview, Drew again, this kind of rhetoric I can't stand, talking about St. Paul's and how Pam don't want to do any roads in St. Paul's. This same kind of nonsense rhetoric they used to talk about with school meals. Because they know better. They know better and they're going to spread misinformation and disinformation. Imagine school meals, a program Pam started, by the way. You have to start a pilot program, right? So you start a pilot program in town. You start it small, you spread it out. They're going to tell people in constituency number 6, they don't like you, they don't want to get enough food. To still got a rhetoric today, we're talking about St. Paul's and road. You know how budgets are done in the government. You know how this whole infrastructure thing happens. Peace. You know how it works. But you want to fool people and roil them up and still, you know, the Labour in 6 and St. Paul's and roil them up. We need to done away with the nonsense. Done away with it. Inform, educate people. That's why you got the platform, and not to tell lies and just appeal to the bases. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're in a position, inform our people instead of misinformation and lies and disinformation. You know how it goes.
They taught the people to hate Pam. For 30 years, Pam out of office as an entity, and your condition hasn't improved, but you still the fault of Pam. For 30 years, and you're still blaming Pam for your condition? Tell me, help me make sense out of that. Tell me, help me.
Like a Trump, I blame Biden and Obama still.
You're going to come tell me that the representative was elected 1989 until today is the area representative for constituency number 6. And you're still blaming Pam for the poor condition that number 6 is, the poverty in number 6. When you get elected, you say number 6 was the most impoverished constituency, and today you're there and it's still the most impoverished constituency. So how you blame Pam for that?
But look here, they wouldn't give Pam credit for signing diplomatic ties with Cuba, and then a lot of people in 6 going to study to become doctors. That was all Pam again. So give us the credit for that now.
But not only that, Pam make sure that the self program, the school meal program reach constituency number 6. People get the exam paid because back in them time you could not afford, your parents could not afford to pay for overseas exam. Many persons benefited from this self program where the education was paid for, the overseas exam was paid for by the people's action. More people in the number 6, that large number of them benefited from it.
And I saw them hyping up this uniform assistance thing recently, big posters and stuff like that. Well, a long time it's happened. A long time Pam give uniform to those who can afford it. So I don't even know what the big hype all about. You see, again, this is how different people think. When Prime Minister Simon was thinking about helping people, he know what he went through. Because people always talking about Pam for the rich, and read Mr. Simon's book. The man them is asleep and dot, down there in Rosemary Lane. The man come from real humble origins. So the man understand what poverty is about. And he went to university, a lot of scholarships and stuff like that he was afforded because he was brilliant. So it's not like the man just above and pre-save above anything. That's why you could afford to say, okay, school meals. We have the people are educated, they are bright, but they just ain't got the money. We don't want hunger, be a reason why they can't come to school and learn. Let's eliminate that. Uniform, let's eliminate that. Self-book for help. They're bright, they want to read, but they just can't afford the textbooks. You know what? Self-program. Even to today, Drew talk about how they make college free. Go up CFBC. You still got to pay, $500 for your CAPE exams. Some children up there like, where can I get the money from? You still have to pay. So don't say it like the thing totally free. Because that is not true. You keep saying it, remove this, yes, remove tuition. But the bills them still there. People still got to pay money. Right?
So we have, thank you, Kyle. We have someone on the Facebook page just say, the time will come when the people will be told what Pam is doing in details. In the meantime, we should be asking the government why they have stalled and have veered so far off target. Someone else is telling the person who asked the questions about politicians being the same, saying, you know, worry about your party. And the person goes on to say, this is Powerhouse, says, the truth hurt them. Guys, keep the pressure on. Too many promises that haven't materialized.
What is it? Worry about we party?
No, someone, Powerhouse says to the person who is saying, what about, it's funny that the recent polls did not mention your party. This person, Powerhouse, is telling Tessa, worry about your party.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. Tell Juicer too.
The truth hurt them. Guys, keep on the pressure. Too many promises haven't materialized. And someone else says, this is SKN Cruz, says, I must admit that Labour has several major projects in the water and around education. Tourism had recovered tremendously under Marsha Henderson's leadership. And then we had someone who says, nonsense, worst tourism season, 1 boat per month. And so the persons are having a discussion on the YouTube.
But the stats says that we are still at pre-COVID levels. And pre-COVID was who? Who was in office pre-COVID? Okay, so, I mean, they're not there yet. And I just read an article the other day saying Jamaica, 6 months, $2.something billion in tourism revenue? Where we at? We're not even #1 destination. We need to get back to where we were. We need to get back there. But we can't focus too much on tourism only. We can't focus on the monoculture thing.
So we have to conclude. I mean, we've been on the air for some time and we continue to speak as it relates to the issue. And I know, Kyle, you're passionate. Troy, you're passionate. I, too, am passionate about, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and ensuring that we speak on their behalf. There's going to be some sort of something happening. I think it's Tuesday with
press conference
with all of them. That's going to be a talk shop. I could bet you Dr. Drew is going to talk about the smart hospital. You want us to bet? Let's make a bet. Dr. Drew is going to talk about the smart hospital. He'll talk about the increase in minimum wage, although spending power has reduced. He's going to talk about sustainable island state. They're going to talk about, no plan Samuel might be talking about Nigeria and trade, or both of them. They're going to talk about the Tabasco farm. Where's they might talk about? They're going to talk, maybe Congressman might talk about
geothermal
or even water. They might talk about the desalination plants.
Solar, new generators.
Yeah.
Saudi fund. So you may have to go then, because with everything already.
I don't know what Marsha Henderson is going to talk about. What is she be doing? She might be overseas. Yeah, okay then.
What environment going to talk about?
Banning styrofoam.
Oh, that's the next and strands. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
So try you have that one. We're going to see. We're going to do a checklist. You
I
understand?
know I won't be talking about this 25 by 25. I know you ain't going to hear nothing about that.
So we're going to do a checklist. Oh, Samuel Duggins might talk about the reopening of the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium. And not talk about the neglect for the other stadiums across the country and the basketball courts. So yeah, they're going to be buzzwords.
So we don't
I
know
wonder what Dr. Jeffrey Hanley is going to talk about. He can't be talking about housing.
Not housing, tall.
He might talk about
Bastille High.
he might talk about Bastille High. Yeah, he might talk about Bastille High.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath. There's nothing going to be, enlightening. It's going to be more the same. So don't hold your breath. I'm telling y'all now, don't hold your breath.
Yeah. That's wrapped up, right? I want them to tell the people of St. Kitts and Nevis why our infrastructure is crumbling so much when you have so much money, you say, putting up. Why we have this crumbling infrastructure?
Yes. So I want to thank you both for being here with me this evening. I want to thank also the man behind the technology, who would remain nameless at this point in time. But, you know, okay, so he said could call him Tough House Band. Yes, thank you. Tough House Sound, yes. You know, you have to be so careful nowadays when you have an administration that is so petty, vindictive, and spiteful.
Yeah, so much analysis.
Not to mention selfish. Selfish and greedy too. Those have to be into when you're talking about this Labour administration.
I want to encourage people to come out to the fish fry constituency.
Oh yes, constituency number 2 is going to have a fish fry on Friday, the 25th of July. We encourage you to come and get your tickets. You have
the road by BCA.
The road by BCA. And we encourage you to come out, get your tickets.
Only $35 or a big plate of
$35
fish.
or $30?
$30 for
Yes.
a big plate of fish food.
Yes. So we encourage you. I have tickets. So in case you want tickets, you can call me. You can message me on the Facebook. And so, you know, I want to thank everyone who listened this evening. And, you know, let's continue to keep this administration's feet to the fire. We have a lot of work to do. Because the Labour Party cannot continue down this road of not serving people and thinking that they're just going to show up and win an election.
But we're ready for the work, eh?
And we are ready for the work. We're putting in the work.
I'm ready to put people's
interest first. Yes.
So we finished with that?
Mm-hmm. Because we know it. We talk about this all the time. Did you play the music? SKN in a serious dilemma because the country is being run by Labour.
But that the country being run by Labour, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor telling people how to get away with murder. It's non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man mixari. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economists all hard life crippling. We are collective menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan idea.
The views and opinions expressed in this program were solely those of the participant or caller and do not reflect the views of winnfm 98.9. winnfm reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who in winnfm's considered opinion is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join Azard Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join Azard Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9.